Here we go. Quiet on the set. Quiet on the set. Thank you. I'm the only one on the set. All right. 3. That is a 1. All right. 3, 2, 1. Hello, and welcome to the Mountain Talk Podcast. My name is Jeff. I'm the founder of Mountain Kids, and I'll be your gracious host for this podcast adventure. I'm really excited to really dive into this longer form content. I think it's pretty exciting. It really allows you to dive into the meat of a lot of different topics. And hopefully I can make this podcast as useful and entertaining to all of you listening as possible. I'd love to get together a panel of experts for the outdoor communities and really give you as many tips and tricks on getting out there and getting started in a lot of these different arenas, and also telling some funny stories, doing some survival horror stories of camping and stuff from Reddits as well. Just talk about everything under the sun. Bring on some Mountain Kids regulars so they can share their Denver stories, how they got here, and things they wish they would have known when they moved here, and just give you as much useful information as possible. So really excited to get this podcast started. Thanks for listening. Hopefully it all makes sense, as this is my first one, and hopefully it flows decently. I'm just going to kind of talk and just get it all out there. And for this first episode, one of the questions I get asked the most is, how did Mountain Kids start, and how did it get to the point it is today? So this episode will be covering everything Mountain Kids. And I think to really start covering that topic would be, one, to give you a little backstory on myself, and just so you can get to know me a little better and see where I came from and how I got to the point of where I am today running Mountain Kids. And then we'll also go over how the original name Mountain Kids came to be 6 years ago, how I came up with that, and then as well as my journey out to Denver, how did I get here, and then also how Mountain Kids started and where I see it going in the future, because there's so many things I see it taking off in many different directions. I have a million ideas every single minute, which is a problem for me. Is just I have too many things in my head that I want to do, and being able to share my visions with you and where I want to take it also will help for me to get feedback from you. Because in the end, I want to only do things with Mountain Kids that you all want and that you want to see and that you think are fun, because in the end, you're the community that I want to serve, and that I want to do things for you that you think will be worthwhile. So that'll be good for me to get feedback from you with these longer format podcasts. All right, so let's quickly get into my backstory. I am from the suburbs of Detroit in Michigan, and I'm from a city called Troy, and also Bloomfield, Birmingham area. I went to the Seaholm High School in Birmingham. It was a great place to grow up. It's a beautiful neighborhood. Michigan doesn't get enough good credit. All the people I've met out in Denver don't even know what the heck Michigan's like. It's a beautiful state, tons of lakes, the perfect summertime months. Definitely recommend visiting it if you haven't. As far as what you need to know is, I've always been an entrepreneur. Ever since I was little, I'd be on the corner of parks doing lemonade stands. I was holding garage sales for my mom when I was like 8, and I was pretty good at it as well. And then so the first actual business I started with substance was in high school. Well, the first job I had was Ace Hardware, and that was junior year of high school. I worked there for about 6 months, saved up enough money to start my first business venture, which was called JB Customs. And JB Customs was a custom sock company. Basically, if you're watching on YouTube or the video format, you can see this. But we have video and graphics as well if you wanted to watch on YouTube, if you're following on the podcast. But basically, JB Customs was custom socks, where you'd have the design on the mid-calves that go up your leg, and you've probably seen them around, and they're pretty popular now. But I was one of the first people to actually put graphics on mid-calves and kind of do designs to match shoes as colorways, and shoe game was pretty big back then, back when I was in high school. And so I was one of the first to heat transfer designs onto these socks. I would do custom socks for bar mitzvahs, for all the sports teams in the area, lacrosse, basketball, soccer, all the different local high schools. They would reach out to me as well, or I'd just do custom orders for birthday parties, and it just really took off. I was known as the sock guy in high school, and it's just what I enjoyed doing after basketball practice. It'd be 10 p.m. till like 1 in the morning. I'd just be basically my basement was a sweatshop of myself, and I would just work around the clock cranking out these socks. And I'll put some on the screen here for you so you can see what I'm talking about. And it was a good time, great learning experience. I probably made about $7,000 profit in that year and a half that I did it, from midway through junior year to the end of my senior year. Great experience. I love doing it. It was just, I really wouldn't have time for it going into college once I graduated, as I was going to be playing basketball as well at the D3 school called Trine University in Angola, Indiana. So once I got to Trine, I was playing basketball, going to school for a business management degree, and then I needed to find a way to make some money on the side as well without getting a job that wouldn't allow me to play basketball. So I started kind of doing drop shipping before drop shipping was a thing. And so I would buy things from China at a couple of suppliers that I met through my sock business that I started. And I would just sell products on eBay that I bought from China. And I became a top-rated seller my freshman, sophomore year of college. And I did about a little over $50,000 in revenue on eBay, which, is pretty good. It got me through college just fine with extra income. And then halfway through my junior year, I did it as well. But then I was like, well, I got to find a real job now. And I had to complete an internship for my business management degree. So then I did an internship with Pillar to Post. And so my dad knew a guy named Randy back in the suburbs of Michigan who owned a Pillar to Post franchise. And it was kind of a win-win situation where I'd be able to complete my internship, learn a business from the ground up, a home inspection franchise business, and then also have the opportunity to potentially buy it in the future as he was getting older and wanted to retire somewhat soon. So it was kind of a win-win. I left my junior year at Trine to go do that internship. I had to go to Toronto to get certified as a home inspector for Pillar to Post, as Pillar to Post is a Canadian company. And going to Toronto was an amazing experience. I made a lot of fun contacts as all the people I was with were much older than me, but it was really cool hanging out with a bunch of dads, and I convinced them all to go downtown Toronto in between our classes, and it was a lot of fun. I learned a lot about homes and became fully certified. I was there for a couple weeks and then came back, finished my training, did a bunch of home inspections in the suburbs of Detroit. And then my internship was over. I had to go back for my senior year of college. And once I got back to Trine, I was taking an entrepreneurship class. I was just really thinking, man, I really want to be a business owner. I really want to create something of my own. I've always just wanted to make a business, a startup, and just go for it. So I was like, what can I do? So me and my buddy Lucas in our entrepreneurship class, we came up with a business called the Corn Club. And what the Corn Club was basically trying to disrupt the microwave popcorn industry by trying to be like the Keurig of microwave popcorn, where we had a reusable silicone popper that was collapsible. And we had these individual pop packs that would go in them. So we'd have specialty flavors like garlic parmesan, chocolate, cookies and cream, coconut sriracha, all these different pre-mixed individual pop packs that you just dump into the bowl. Mix it up, put it in the microwave for 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Then when you took it out, you would have perfectly flavored gourmet microwave popcorn. And it was really good, and everyone really liked it. It was really easy to sell in person. Where we came across the trouble was just selling it online. The heavy kernels and the little packs and the shipping costs didn't always make sense. So that's kind of where we ran into trouble there. But we learned a ton in that entrepreneurship class and creating the Corn Club. And going into our second semester of our senior year, we pitched to the board of the School of Business to let us do the Corn Club as our senior capstone class. They said yes, we were able to do that, but we would have to enter the mini Shark Tank competition for Northern Indiana called Innovation One. And there was a first place prize of $2,500. So we're like, heck yeah, let's do it, because we always wanted to grow the business. And so we ended up working on that the rest of the year. We did a lot of sales in person to basically break even before our presentation. So we broke even, and then we pitched our Innovation One project, the mini Shark Tank, to the panel of judges. We ended up winning first place. We won the $2,500, which was super cool. We felt super validated in our idea and that everyone supported it, which was super fun. And it just felt super cool. It kind of just completed our year and our college experience, and just everything we learned doing that. I learned by doing. Like, we had no idea what we were doing with this, but I learned so much along the way with just marketing, communicating, just figuring out the food industry, how to package food safely, FDA regulations, getting everything, approved, and just talking to local businesses when you just have no clue what you're doing. And there's businesses that are out there that will help you and like to help young people succeed. And we just learned so much from all of our professors. Really thank you everyone at Trine as well. It was super cool and super good experience. But I had to graduate, and luckily I graduated. That was cool. I did make it through. I did pass, which is cool. I graduated with a business management degree. But I went home, and I already had my pillar to post job still lined up. So I'd be doing the Corn Club on the side while working for Pillar to Post full time, still learning that business and getting ready to, go all in and make an offer hopefully in the future and buy the Pillar to Post franchise and start building my own business. So then I stopped doing the Corn Club just because startups just eat money, and it was just really hard to sell online once I was away from the college ecosystem and being able to sell in person. So we stopped doing the Corn Club. I went all in on Pillar to Post. I was ready gung-ho about potentially buying the business. I put in an offer to the business owner, thinking this is definitely fair, went over all the numbers. He came back with something that was triple what I wanted to spend on it. So I was like, that's just not realistic. I'm not going to do that. So that just went downhill. Then I was like, well, I don't want to work for someone if I'm not owning the business. And so then I was like, all right, I'm done. I don't want to be in Michigan anymore. I don't want to be going on the same streets, seeing the same people, doing the same thing that I've been doing for the past, 22 years at that point. I was just needing a fresh start, something new. That fell through. And I was like, well, what am I going to do now? So then basically within like 2 weeks notice, I got on Indeed, looking for jobs in Denver. I come across a Pillar to Post listing for one of the biggest Pillar to Post franchises there is. The Lunsford team here in Denver, I think we're like 5th in total sales in all of the Pillar to Posts in North America, which is pretty cool. And they needed an office manager. And that was basically a perfect fit for what they were looking for. As I was learning the business, I knew it from the ground up. I knew the industry, I knew realtors. And they're like, wow, you're perfect. So I flew out, interviewed, got hired, flew back, and then proceeded to drive and go out to Denver. And of course, what do you need when you're moving to a new place? A place to live would be good. And a lot of people always ask, what's the best way to go out finding a place? I use Craigslist. I just went on Craigslist and found a house with 8 rooms, 8 people were living there. It was a shared side of a duplex, and it was pretty nice. I mean, I had a walk-in closet, I had my own bathroom, and we shared the kitchen and living area. And I think it was $850 a month all in for utilities, Wi-Fi, all included, which is, incredible to just pay that little of amount. And I negotiated a 6-month lease, which was also a plus. So I was really hoping because I didn't know anybody when I moved out to Denver. I knew not a soul. My dad helped me move out and then just dropped me off, and I didn't know anybody. And I had a new adult job. It was my first time being out of the nest, being away from home, being away from my parents in a new city, in a new state, and didn't know a soul. And I was hoping to make some friends from moving to this shared community. And we didn't really mesh with anybody. There was some cool people living there, some nice people, but they were just older, and we're on just different wavelengths. So I didn't actually end up making any friends doing that. And it was tough because I never visited the place. I never talked to anyone prior to going. I never even saw the place. I just showed up one day, and then I walked in, and they're like, oh, a new guy's moving in. Sweet. So that's how that went when I moved to Denver, and how I found a place to live. And so I started working my big boy job. I had an office now. It was weird because I finally was going into an office every day, which I'd never done before. And I love working for the people I'm working for. I'm still working for that Pillar to Post company. It's a small business. The owners are fantastic. The management's fantastic. And that's mainly the reason I'm still there is the people. Everyone is just amazing, and I love working for them. But also when I got here, I'm like, I need to do some type of side hustle because I always have. And I just need something to focus my creative entrepreneurial spirit into. And I was like, wow, let's go back to the Mountain Kids, because so the original idea and name for Mountain Kids came about 6 years ago when we were on a family trip in Utah. Me and my sister were in the back seat. We were road tripping through Utah, and she's really good at just branding and creativity and just art in general. And so she kind of came up with the acronym MTN KDS. We might have saw it on a license plate or some sign. I don't know. And we were like, wow, that'd be like a really cool outdoors company. And so I was like, yeah, I like that. And my wheels just started turning in my head because I can never shut it off. I'm like, I want to do something with that. So then I got back from spring break at Trine University, and I was brainstorming things to do with it. I kind of came up with the whole think like a kid message. I didn't really go too far into it yet, but it was too hard to like do anything with mountain kids in the plains of Indiana. It's just, not going to work to launch a business like that. So I was like, let's just put it on the shelf, put it on the back burner, and we'll come back to it. So that I put that on the shelf for later. And then, so fast forward, we're back in Denver working a big boy job. And then I wanted to launch Mountain Kids again. So I started working on the branding, the logo, the website. My girlfriend, I've met her the first couple of months that I moved to Denver, and she was actually a graphic designer in college. So that worked out perfect, right? And so she actually made the logo and some of the branding things for the website. And I finished with the rest of the mission statement, the message, and just thinking where I wanted to take it. And it was actually like a branding session where I was doing with her, and I was just talking to the camera and I was recording where I kind of saw it going and how I saw it evolving. And I'll just like splice in a clip here if I can. If you're listening to the audio only version, I'm splicing in a clip of a brainstorming session for Mountain Kids I did back in February of 2020. It's about 3 minutes long. You can skip ahead if you don't want to listen to it, but it's all my thoughts and how I actually came up with Mountain Kids. So now I'm here in Denver, and I live at the mountains, so now it just makes sense that I can finally cruise on into the Mountain Kids brand. This is our mission: spread the word. Mm-hmm. So that's what I wrote, I think it was 5 years ago now, sophomore in college.
I like it. You can probably get a quote from it. We just need
So that's the overall thing. Think like a kid. Keep that imagination, beauty in the world. Appreciate all the things you have, even though you can forget sometimes.
I like think like a kid. Because, you can get a good quote from that if you take some of the, cliches out.
But I don't just want to do, a stupid generic clothing brand that everyone starts. Kind of wanted to just kind of think of, what I like and what I want to do. One of my favorite things has always been to bring people together and to have people connect, laugh together, and I don't even need to be a part of it. I just like bringing people together. I like throwing parties, setting things up, making sure people go on
just being bye.
vacations. I like to be a part of it.
You like to be a part of it.
So I was thinking, so Mountain Kids could be maybe not Mountain Kids, I don't know. It doesn't have to be in that, but making a group of, how we're transplants.
Yeah.
So everyone that's a transplant, they need friends, and they're desperate for friends.
True that.
So, and I don't know if you realize on Tik Tok.
Sometimes they'll be Colorado stuff.
They're always localized now. It's getting more and more so.
Yeah.
If you just put Colorado in something.
I don't even put it in. I didn't even put any of that information in, and I get stuff from UC Boulder, or not UC Boulder, just
exactly.
Denver, whatever.
But people are seeing Colorado things.
Yeah.
So if you literally just put Colorado or something for Denver, and most people that see your stuff, if TikTok shows it, is going to be from the area.
Yeah.
So you just make a video, or we can make a video saying how, because I've seen these before, but I don't think anyone actually does anything with it. Or it's just people oh, let's hang out, let's make a hype house, or blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Let's just make an adult group that likes to do stuff and go on adventures. But see, this video I posted today of our adventure, it's kind of I don't know, starting to pick up. So everybody comments, you just get a ton of comments just because people are oh, I'm from Boulder, oh, I'm from Denver, welcome.
Cool.
Everyone's local, and they're all willing to come together. So if we just literally did a post hey, my name's Jeff, this is Mason, we're transplants. If any of you other Colorado transplants want to hang out. I know people have been like dropping their Snapchats in the comments.
That's kind of cool.
Which then, when you get a lot of comments too, it makes the video be seen by more people. So you can drop comments, and then we can make a group on Snapchat. I've seen people do that.
Oh, you're gonna add me on Snapchat?
I don't know if people have.
Oh shit!
Maybe.
Oh my god!
I don't know if people have actually like met up or anything, but I feel like we could actually set something up. Hopefully, you just watched that clip if that worked. And it was basically me just talking about how getting Mountain Kids started would be super cool to like use TikTok and just put out a TikTok and be like, hey, who wants to meet up in Denver and do something fun, and just have TikTok take it off, because it was just booming at that point. I think it was February 2020 when TikTok was really just getting heated up, and I was like, this could be a perfect storm to really launch Mountain Kids, and then the community could just take off from that. And that was my biggest complaint from moving to Denver. I loved everything except it was so hard to make friends as an adult. That was my biggest complaint. I did Bumble BFF, I did all that stuff, and it's just so strange and weird and never panned out into anything. And then you can go to bars, you can get drunk, but you're not gonna make good friends out of that. And so I kind of wanted to help other people make that, or make it easier for other people to make friends as an adult. And so like that's kind of how that started forming, is because that was my one complaint about moving to Denver. So I wanted to get people together. But then, of course, the pandemic, COVID, yes, the fun times we all lived in came right after that at the end of March, right when I'm brainstorming, getting everyone together. Then the COVID hits, can't bring anyone together. It's just, a terrible time. I had to focus on pillar to post because I didn't even know if I was going to have a job, because, houses stopped selling. And I wasn't sure if I was going to be employed for much longer and how I was going to pay bills. It was just not a good time for anybody, and the stress of that was not fun. But once that stabilized in that summer, the housing market started booming again. My job was stable. It was great. But it still just didn't feel comfortable bringing people together. And I don't think anyone felt comfortable getting together still. So still just kept waiting and waiting and waiting. And then finally, I think in the end of April 2021, this past year, I started planning my first events. So at the end of April, in May, I planned like 5 or 6 events. No one showed up to my first events. No one came, which is fine. I mean, I tried marketing it, but I mean, it's a struggle. And then one day, one TikTok got 6,000 views, I think. I was about to just give up on Mountain Kids actually and just like call it quits because no one showed up. Obviously, I was like, oh, this idea sucks. All right. But one day, one TikTok got 6,000 views. If you live in the Denver area, this is for you. Do you like getting out in nature and doing things like this? Maybe you just moved here, you're looking to make some friends, meet some new people, or you've lived here for a long time, you're just looking to expand that friend circle. There's a bunch of free hiking meetups this summer. Go to mountainkids.com to check out which dates we have and the hikes we're doing. June 7th, the next one. And then the first meetup that people came to, it was just fully booked. I think it was June 3rd of 2021, about 6 months ago, was the first meetup anyone showed up to. And ever since then, everything's just been fully booked. We've had a wait list for everything. It just took that one TikTok that launched Mountain Kids, and now the rest is history. And it's just growing at an incredible rate. And more people come every day. There's a pipeline of people moving here. They're like, I can't wait to come to my first event. I've been following for months now, which is just crazy. And I've been putting in about, 50 hours a week for the past 6 months into Mountain Kids around my full-time job, my 40 hours a week pillar to post, and then do about 50 hours a week with Mountain Kids. I mean, I have to plan all the events, reach out to all the companies, the businesses, to plan them. And I have to make graphics for all of them, add them to the website, work on the products, and then I'm at every single event pretty much. I missed a couple, but pretty much I'm at every single event. So I try to do about 5 to 7 a week, and we do everything under the sun. For those of you that don't know what Mountain Kids is, everything under the sun, from hikes to Nuggets games, Rockies games. We did sunrise coffee and donuts at Red Rocks. We've done that at the Garden of the Gods. We do park meetups with park games, happy hours, anything you can think of, we do. I'm basically like a glorified promoter now, but it's super fun. And everything I do, I try and make sure it's low stress environment, easy to meet people. And even if you're shy, don't be afraid to come out. I'm at everything, smiling face. I'll talk your ear off and I'll introduce you to some of the regulars and get you into the Mountain Kids experience and community. And once you're in, it's just so easy. And you just show up to all the fun events that you want. You'll make friends. There's a ton of sub-friend groups in Mountain Kids now that people have just made lifelong friends. And it's super cool to see because that's the goal. And that's kind of where it's at now. It's just a fun social community. And there's so many things I want to do. So the future, where do I see this going in the future? What's the vision? In my head, I have like 7-ish phases planned out. We're currently on phase 2. Phase 2 was to start charging a small fee and introduce, paying for Mountain Kids. I didn't really want to start charging it, but I just needed to start charging a small fee to cut down on no-shows and cancellations, because with free events, people just have no skin in the game and don't really, care if they cancel, which I get. But so I started charging a small fee for things. And then, of course, I try and cover all of my expenses for Mountain Kids. So going forward, it'd be great to do this full-time eventually, and that just go with, charging some sort of fee. I don't know if it'd be a subscription service or charging more per event, or, keeping it really minimal cost would be ideal, and getting sponsorships involved would be amazing. So we'll see where I'll take it from there. But definitely one of the next phases in phase 3 would be putting together a team for Mountain Kids. But I would have to be able to pay them, because I've had a couple people help out and lead a couple events. And they're everyone's super excited about it at first, but then it's really difficult to constantly meet new people every single day. And so they'll be like, oh yeah, this is great. They'll do 2 or 3 events. They'll be like, I met my friends. It was fun. I like helping out, but that's the whole goal. If you make your friends, and that's why you come to Mountain Kids. And so I really need to be able to pay someone to have a consistent, Mountain Kids team and other people to help host things and plan things and really put their time and effort into it. I need to be able to pay. So that just goes with, making Mountain Kids, taking it to the next level, doing it full time, and being able to pay people. So that'd be the next step. And I also want to do a sprinter van that holds like 15 people. A bus would be cool, but I'll probably start with a sprinter van, and where you can take that to day in, day out ski trip, meetups, and to camping trips. And there's just a lot of practical uses that I could do for carpooling and, better on the environment purposes. And then also another avenue for Mountain Kids to make money, just charging tickets to get on the shuttle, that kind of thing. And then also doing a campground would be in the near future, hopefully. I'd love to just buy a plot of land and then use that as a Mountain Kids campground where you can just go camp whenever you want. And because a lot of times it's hard to find places to camp around Denver, things book up or you just don't know where to go. I really just want to make the mountains and the outdoors way more accessible to all the transplants and people new to Denver. That's one of Mountain Kids' goals in the future as well, because, you get here, you don't really know how to camp, you don't know where to go. So there's just a plot of land you can go to for Mountain Kids people, and you can learn to camp there, or you can go all the time. Hopefully it's a cool spot, and that'll just be there, maybe with a subscription-based service, where that'd be like an add-on, $10 a month for like a gym membership. You get access to all the events, then you add on another $10 to get access to the campground. I don't know. I'm just brainstorming here, but this is where I kind of see it going in the future. And then also making the mountains more accessible, that whole route. I want to maybe put together 5 or 6 backpacking backpacks. So for people that want to get into backpacking, and you could just rent the backpacks that are pre-packed out for you for $30, $40 a month, or not for a night, I mean. And just so you don't have to buy $1,000 worth of gear to try backpacking once, and then, I don't like it. So just making it more accessible, and then also putting together a group of experts for Mountain Kids that are experts in their fields of rock climbing, skiing, snowboarding, backpacking, and they can do beginner meetups for these areas. They can do moderate, advanced, and just, again, making it more accessible for you all and giving you the most value. Again, I'd love to be able to do this full time. I don't care about the money. If I could do anything in this world, if none of us had to make money and we just did something with our lives, this would be it. I would do this for free. I love bringing people together, I love seeing people make friends, smile, and just have a good time. And I love planning events. That's just what I like to do. I think I was born for it. I think that's partly why Mountain Kids has been successful, just because this is me in a nutshell and what I like. And I just like to share. Like, if I could buy a couple properties that are just sick in the mountains and just share them with you, that's all I would want. Like, I just want to share everything and have everyone just come along and have fun. Like, that's the goal. And where I see it going, there's a lot of things, a lot of ideas. I have so many ideas. It's not good sometimes. But yeah, so hopefully I can get some feedback on all these ideas from you listening as well. And I hope to see you out to some future events in the near future. We have the ski meetup at Winter Park coming up on January 20th. Just posted the great Sand Dunes camping trip, and we're going to have tons and tons of events. I'm ready to hit the ground running even more. I'll double my hours if I have to. I just want to really make Mountain Kids an actual business now. I think it's to that point where it's ready to be a business. People want it to be a business and see it succeed. I should talk about merch, I guess. I haven't really sold much merch. I haven't really pushed it, but I don't want it to just be merch. I really want anytime someone's wearing a Mountain Kids clothing, I want it to be like a signal, like you're living your life the best way you can. You're having fun like a kid. You're not becoming a boring grown adult, which is the whole, we always become boring as we grow up and become less adventurous and we don't do as much. And I really want that to be a signal to other people. If you're wearing a Mountain Kids like clothing item or merch item, and I want you to know that and expect people to come up and talk to you, because they'll be like, oh, Mountain Kids, what's up, man? How's it going? I really want that to be like a connecting piece where if you see someone wearing Mountain Kids, you will go talk to them and smile and hopefully brighten their day, and they'll brighten your day, because that's the whole goal. We connect as human beings. And I really just want that to be a beacon in the world, and Mountain Kids is really forming into something cool, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. And this podcast, I think that's long enough. I think we talked about enough in this episode 1. That's enough about me. I'm really excited to have guests and talk about other topics. And hopefully the next guest, episode 2, will be something super interesting and helpful to you. We'll have some Mountain Kids people on here, share their stories, share what they wish they would have known. And we'll really just dive in a little deeper. So thanks for listening. Thanks for tagging along. Come out to an event sometime. Check out the merch. And thanks for tagging along. And we'll see you at the next one. Thanks, guys.